Hello, my name's Elizabeth Harrin from the projectmanagement.com blog, The Money Files, and today I want to talk about prototyping. In this book, Business Analysis and Leadership, Tamsin Fulton writes about the 3 things that you can do to make prototyping a success on your project. They are establishing metrics, designing your prototype, and then designing the environment in which to use your prototype. When you come to establish metrics, that's all about designing the prototyping structure and the way that you want your prototype to work. So she writes about making sure that you understand what you are going to prototype and what you want your prototype to achieve and how you're going to deliver that. So this is all the planning that you need to do before you actually go into the making of your prototype. When you come to make your prototype, this is the next step to try and do successfully. And it's about making something that is rough and ready, but that gives people the idea of what they're going to get when they get their final piece of software, their final product, whatever that might look like. You don't want something that's so polished that means that people will not feel they can criticise it or come up with constructive comments. So you want to make sure that you've got something that's suitable, but that does give them the indication that they can make things and then change it as you go along. Finally, it's important to make sure that the environment that you test your prototype in is going to give you the best possible chance of success and the best possible chance of getting some really good feedback. So make sure you draw up a list of who you want to be involved, how you're going to prototype it, what activities you're going to ask people to do with it, and make sure that you've really thought through that testing period so that you can get the most out of the results that you get and the feedback that you get from the people who are using the prototype. You may have to do several prototyping situations. You may have to go back to the drawing board, redesign your prototype, come back and run it through that environment with those people again. But all that should give you a great outcome for your project as you're designing something that gets you much closer to having a product or a piece of software or whatever it is that meets the requirements of your customer. One of the major benefits of prototyping is that it saves you money because you can use the prototypes to really define and clarify the requirements for your users, which means that you can develop those in a more cost-effective way, much lower cost to do prototyping than it is to build a full working model. And then as you get closer and closer to the end of your project, you have more and more refined requirements, and you'll reap the cost savings and the time savings that will deliver in terms of minimising rework later on. So there's lots of videos about saving money and managing your project budget at the blog, The Money Files. So feel free to come back and see what else we've got in store.